Hi, I'm Deepa, and welcome to my Sacred Art Studio. And today we're going to talk some about your spirit guides. Do you have one? Why do you have them? What do they do for you? Because often people are curious about it, but they don't know where to learn more about it. And my spirit guide, the Heart Chakra Angel, I always tune into a spirit guide before I do these lives and ask, who wants to show up? What do you want me to share? And they actually wanted me to share some about the spirit guides. And we're going to do some fun creation time to help you develop your intuition more, to help you on your path of awakening. Because if you have curiosity about growing your spiritual gifts, maybe developing your ability to receive intuitive messages, or maybe you just want to be more patient and calm and on point to what's true in your heart, those are signs that you are on the path of awakening. And they want to talk more and more about how your spirit guide is here to help you. And they say spirit guides because they want me to clarify with you, you have more than one. You have spirit guides, or some of your spirit guides are here from the time you're born until the time you leave this body. And then you have other spirit guides that kind of drop in just to help you in whatever challenge or purpose you're wanting to manifest. And the thing is that a lot of people ask me, because I talk about oneness a lot, well, if you believe in oneness, how can you have a spirit guide? It seems like it's a separate entity. And the spirit guides really want me to emphasize the point that your spirit guide is not anything separate from you. Your spirit guide is within you. It actually comes from you. It's your energy, because we're all one, okay? The spirit guide shows up in a specific form because that's what you need at that time, okay? So we're going to welcome in the spirit guides. We're going to ask to see if there's any other spirit guides here besides the Heart Chakra Angel, but we're going to talk more about it. And if you were here last week, I talked about this spinning wheel, and we're going to invoke using this spinning wheel to see what creative process we're supposed to use and do today. And in that practice, whatever shows up is going to be some kind of spiritual lesson or guidance or an aha they want me to share with you. At least that's what they've let me know that we're going to do today. All right. So we're going to have some fun with the spinning wheel to see like which one. Now you'll notice I wrote on there different things. And it says everything from clay, finger paint, oil paint, watercolor, draw, and you pick. And so we're going to spin it. But before we spin this and get what we're going to actually focus on today, we're going to invite in the spirit guides, because they're who guide everything that I share with you. Okay? So again, welcome to my Sacred Art Studio. I'm Deepa, and this is a place where we connect with spirit through the spirit guides, use our creative powers to grow spiritually and have an experience of the divine. And one of the most important things is to get you out of your head and into your heart, because we've been programmed. It's been really I've been given guidance and clarity on helping you if you're someone who overthinks, okay? Because overthinking is one of the biggest reasons they say people don't grow spiritually and that they get stuck. And so they want me to help you with that. All right, so we're going to ring the bell, inviting in the spirit guides. We're going to invite in the Heart Chakra Angel, because that's who came to me before I started the live. And then we're going to also tune into whatever other spirit guides are there. Because again, this is about helping create sacred space, not just here where I am physically, but also where you are physically. And most importantly, what do I always say? Not just the physical space that you're in, but the sacred space within you. Because the spirit guide that shows up for you is about helping you in creating that sacred space in yourself. And that sacred space is your awakened self, what some call enlightenment, self-realization, awareness, Christ consciousness. Doesn't matter the name, but it's that energy that we're all looking to be awakened so that we can progress in life and grow. And not just grow spiritually and emotionally, mentally, physically, but grow in our purpose of why we're here on the planet. They've been making that real clear to me for myself of my next steps of what I'm supposed to grow, and they want you to grow in your next steps of where you're supposed to grow, okay? And part of that growth, believe it or not, they're telling me, is this spinning wheel. And we're going to talk more about that later, so hang on, okay? Now, one of the things, if you haven't been here before, is I usually start with the guides coming in and telling me a little bit about what the topic is, and I share with you some of the things they wanted me to share with you to help awaken you. And then we go into whatever creative process is going to show up on that wheel. And as we're doing that process, more comes through. So when I start doing the creative process, if you still want more guidance, don't get out. Now, if you want to go along with us and do what's on that wheel, yay, yay, yay. And we're going to invite in the spirit guides to help you with that. Because in my experience, the creativity with the spirit guides, with spiritual tools and techniques, has what expanded my spiritual gifts, awakened my ability to connect with the guides, get visions, and share with you this guidance that comes through. All right, so let's ring that bell, all right? And of course, if you're here and you want to give a shout out, I love it. Hi, Emily, thank you for saying hi. I love it if you say hi. Give a shout out where you're from. You never know. You might find somebody in your area that is interested in hooking up, connecting, because when you're on this path of awakening, it is so important to find community. Now, I want to create an online membership community for all of us unique souls that are wanting to grow spiritually, get out of our hearts and out of our heads and into our hearts. But when you can find someone in person, even better, you know. So, Emily, thank you for saying hi. Anybody else who wants to shout out, say hi. I'd love to see it. But we're going to ring this bell and invite in the spirit guides here. I've been told to start and light the candle first this time. It's not actually not a candle. It's a ghee lamp that we're going to light. I don't know if you can see the flame, but we're going to light this ghee lamp with the energy and intention of transformation, of transforming our consciousness, our gifts, our abilities. Oops, and this happened before. Oh, no, it's not out, it's lit. It is still lit. That's it. The eternal flame never gives up. All right, so let's ring that bell and invite in the spirit guides. We're going to ring it, and you're going to say hello to your spirit guides. I'm going to say hello to the Heart Chakra Angel. I invite you to connect with the Heart Chakra Angel, because the Heart Chakra Angel is all about helping us connect with what's true in our heart and choose what's true in our heart, which is so hard if you're an overthinker in your head, perfectionist, doubting whether it's intuition or is it your ego. So take that deep belly breath where you breathe deeply in the belly, where it rises with the inhalation and falls with the exhalation. And just continue to breathe in and out, and I'm going to ring the bell. Hello to the Heart Chakra Angel. Hello to the Spirit Guides. We invoke thy presence. The Spirit Guides are here to guide us, bless us, transform us. And with each ringing of the bell, the guides are inviting you to allow the vibration to penetrate every layer of your being, to allow the guidance, the blessings, and transformation within every fiber of your being, body, mind, soul. And as you listen and feel the vibration, say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you thank your spirit guides for showing up. You thank them for the blessings. You thank them for the transformation. All right. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, one of the things that the Heart Chakra Angel wanted me to share with you was about with the spirit guides is, well, first of all, before the Heart Chakra Angel, another spirit guide came to me this morning, and we're gonna maybe she's gonna probably come through, and it was this fairy of light. But right now, well, no, the fairy light is coming through and saying that they want you to really, they wanted me to light this ghee lamp first because they want you to focus on the light, okay, not the darkness. And they're saying that your spirit guides are here. Everyone has a spirit guide. The way you start to connect with them is by, one, being aware of them, one, inviting them in. That's why we ring the bell and invoke their presence. You know, if you're in the like, oh, do I have them? I don't know. You're not going to notice the guidance they may give you. They're not going to notice when they're showing up for you. You're just not going to notice, because what happens is everything already exists. But it's whether our awareness is able to notice it, to be aware of it. And so your spirit guides are here with you 24/7. But are you actually noticing the messages? Are you noticing them guiding you a certain way? And so they want you to understand that it is your spirit guides are coming from you. They are you. They're just showing up in a form that usually gives you some guidance, some indication of what you need to do, okay? So they're wanting me to share from my own story of, for instance, I had a ballerina fairy show up many months. It was actually probably, it's a few years now ago, because that ballerina fairy was showing me like this dancing, you know, wants me to dance through life with joy. And so I started to bring that energy in more. And then recently, a fairy of light has come in with many messages, but one of them, like they said today, was about focusing on the light, okay? Now, not to run away from the darkness, but what she was saying was that we all have a tendency, we've been programmed to focus on what's on the lack, not what's there, not what's not working, what we haven't done, and they want you to focus on the opposite, you know, the light, what you have done, what is working, all right? And so this fairy, this spirit guide came in with that energy of me focusing on the light. Carl, hi, I'm doing great. Thank you for saying hi, and appreciate everybody who connects here. So, so one of the things that came to me in meditation a couple weeks ago, I didn't get it in time, was this spinning wheel. Was using the spinning wheel and deciding what creative process we're going to do. And we're going to do this with the idea of connecting with the Heart Chakra Angel and the Fairy of Light and asking them to guide us through this spinning wheel. Now, that's the thing they want you to understand, is your spirit guide doesn't come in and like just talk to you like you're talking to another person that's right in front of you, okay? They come in to share a higher guidance. And that's what they're here for you for, is that you are probably having some area in your life where maybe you're stuck, or that you don't know, you don't have clarity on how to move forward, or maybe you have some unhappiness where you're not satisfied with something. Maybe you don't like your job, or something not quite right in your relationship, but some area that's just not where you desire it to be, okay? And they show up to help you with that challenge. But the thing is that our programming keeps us seeing the world in a certain way, believing a certain thing, doing a certain thing, right? Our beliefs keep us doing the same habitual things. And so the spirit guide, your spirit guides, come in to give you that higher guidance, to get you a different perspective than what you've been giving yourself. And they're doing it because they see that you're having a challenge with moving forward on something. Okay, it may be you're just having a challenge of like, I have a health issue and I don't know what to do to get healthy. But it also could be something like, I'm at this point in my life where I feel like something's missing. Have you ever been there? If you have been, please put it up in the chat. I know I was there many years ago. I felt like, I was around in my early 30s. And at that point, I was in outside straight commission sales, making a lot of money, had a house, cars, went on vacations, and it still felt like, is this it? I feel like something's missing. And I would have classified myself as an overthinker. But think, try to figure things out. Now, overthinking shows up in many different forms, and the spirit guides want you to get this, that their spirit guides are here to help you to stop overthinking, to like trust there's something, a higher power that can help you to be in the flow, to do what's true. Because when we overthink, we do what we think will get us what we want, not what we're being called to do, not what we're being drawn to, not what our heart is telling us the truth in. And so they want you to get that when you connect with your guides, when you start to build a relationship with your spirit guides, that you begin to develop the ability to see, this is where I need help. This is what I need to do. Not this same behavior that's got me where I am. All right? So they're saying that they want you to start welcoming in your spirit guides. So if you're on this, whether you're alive or watching it in the recording, they're just saying, to say to yourself out loud, if you can, if you're somewhere you can do it, then I am open to building a relationship with my spirit guides, the ones that are here to help me grow and evolve into my best version of myself, to manifest my purpose, to manifest my abundance, to manifest whatever my heart's desires are. So they're saying if you have any unhappiness, any dissatisfaction, that you want to connect with your guides to overcome that dissatisfaction, that unhappiness, because you need to get out of where you're thinking right now, get a new level of consciousness, and that's what the spirit guides are here for you. That's what they do for you. They're bringing you higher guidance so that you can get out of, you might not feel like you're in a rut, but if you have some level of unhappiness and frustration about a certain area of your life, they're saying that's kind of a rut. Like you just haven't been able to click that over from being frustrated or unhappy with it to, I feel so happy about whatever that is, my relationship, my job, my level of income. And they're coming in saying that, like, you can fill in the last part of that sentence, because they're saying that's what it is, okay? So if you've not been here before, before I invite in the guides and spin the wheel, please subscribe, because I do this weekly. I should say I do it 3 weeks out of the month and 1 week off, because we have 1 week we do no appointments. But please subscribe. If this is something that is speaking to you and you want to share it with someone, please be a blessing in the world and share it with somebody, because we all need more blessings in the world. And if you want to get notified for the next live, turn on your notifications, because then they'll give you a little chime. And give me a thumbs up, because it all helps my channel. You get to see all my little different pieces of artwork that I love doing, because I love making things. Now, we've already invited in the spirit guides, and I'm going to tune in, and I'm going to ask the spirit guides to communicate through this spinning wheel. And they guided me, they gave me this vision of this spinning wheel to use it, because I can get too much into my head. I can get into the left brain of leading with my competence, doing what I think I should do, right? Unless I'm really in like that connected place. And so they said, we want you to bring more fun and spontaneity into your weekly live. And so they guided me to get this little spinning wheel. And so you can see on here, it says clay, I don't know if you see it. Oh, here it's clay, finger paint, oil paint, watercolor, draw, you pick. Okay, so I'm invoking in the spirit guides, and we're going to spin the wheel and see what they say we're supposed to do today. So, and they say we're going to do watercolor today. So I'm going to get my watercolors real quick. Now, watercolors you can't do on a easel. So it's going to be done a little bit different than usual. Usually you can see my easel. I'm walking at a frame right now just to grab my watercolor paints and some watercolor paper. We're going to bring this over. But we're going to also talk a little bit more about the spirit guides and what's going on here, because each of these different mediums they want you to understand has like a different, they're kind of saying spiritual lesson. And they're saying that spiritual lessons happen throughout your life, but that each one comes with a slightly different message. Now, if you're not an artist and you haven't done watercolors or oil paints, you might not know the different mediums. But they want me to share this with you about, like, I love oil painting. It is my favorite medium. I do lots of it. All these, the spirit guides you see are done with oil paints. And what I love about it is because it's a very forgiving medium. So I paint from my mind's eye. Painting from my mind's eye is not as easy as, like, if you see something like my little thumbs up, that you could keep looking at it and painting it, because you can keep what? You keep going, and you look at it and you draw what you want to draw or paint what you want to paint. When you paint in your mind's eye or create from your mind's eye, it's not a physical thing. And so even though I kind of have the vision in my head, it's not the same when it's in this ethereal plane than when you see it on the physical plane. Because I have to take this vision that's come from ethereal plane and put it in this two-dimensional on paper thing. Okay, so we're going to do some watercolors. Now, watercolor, the message they want you to get, if you're watching this, is that, you know, oil paints are for forgiving. You don't have to pre-plan. You can kind of do things. Now, some people might pre-plan, but I love it because I don't have to pre-plan. And I like taking life like when I'm sensing and feeling. So if you're an empath or anything, you may want to experiment with the oil paints to sense and feel. Now, watercoloring is a little bit different. Watercolor, you have to pre-plan. Now, in life, what do they always tell you to do? On the physical plane, they tell you to plan more, right? They tell you to pre-plan, prepare, you know, all these things that are very left brain oriented. And that's what watercolor are. You have to pre-plan. You have to plan it out. You have to think ahead. And I don't have, I'm not as much a pre-planner when I do creative work. I like to kind of be in the flow and be in the sense of what I'm doing. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to sketch a little bit on here, not much, and then we're going to do some watercolors, because that's what they're guiding me to do. I saw this fairy of light, and the interesting thing was I always thought in my mind fairies had wings. You know what you think? That's what we've been shown in the thing. And this fairy, at least I couldn't see her wings in the vision, but she was clearly, I'm the fairy of light. And so it's like, how do you actually trust your intuition when it doesn't fit the framework of what you've been told, right? And that's the thing. And that's what they're wanting me to share with you, is that that's what often happens, is that when it doesn't fit the framework that in the framework is your paradigm, your belief system, then what do we usually do? We reject it. And they're actually telling me right now to not use my pencils. I was going to draw something out, sketch it, and they're saying not to. So I'm going to open up the watercolors, and I'm going to, hopefully there's water in here. See, the thing about when you do things by guidance, sometimes you don't have things quite prepared. So, like, there's no water in this, but I think that's okay. We're going to use the one that has water. So these are these interesting pens that have water in them. They're watercolor. So I have this little watercolor case that uses it, and we're going to kind of just follow the guidance of what the fairy of light is telling me to do. So we're going to actually open up this one too, because we're going to use some of this too. So if you, there we go, got that, I'm going to use this. So one of the things when you do creativity for awakening your gifts, it's about taking that moment to pause, breathe, do a prayer. Now, I've done the prayer earlier, but you can do a prayer. And have a prayer of intention. A prayer of intention of moving your little self aside and letting, now I'm going to let the spirit guide come through and guide me of what they want me to do with these watercolors, what they want me to say to you, what blessing they want me to give you. And they're saying that if you have a question, please feel free to put it up in the comments, whether you watch this live or whether you watch it in the recording. I'm going to do something I've never done before. They want me to actually drop water on here and let it run. They don't want me to actually they don't want me to guide it. They want me to let it just flow, like drops. And we're going to let it come down. So you're going to see me just letting the water of the pink drip down. Now, we're not going to let it drip all over the floor, but they're wanting me to like let it just just do its own thing of allowing the water to drip, bring it down. I think what we're going to do, since they're guiding me to do this, is we're going to switch this up because I actually have a little table with some plastic on it. I'm going to allow it to do its thing. So I'm going to actually allow it to actually drip onto the plastic. Wish I could actually video it for you, but I can't. But they're saying that sometimes in life, it's like a river. And you have to allow and pay attention to what's happening with the energy. The amazing thing about when you allow things to just flow is that sometimes what looks really ugly can be the very thing that you need. So they're wanting you to think about that in your life. Like, where have you in your life tried to stop something? And they're saying the specific thing is when you get resistant. You know, your spirit guides are here to help you let go of your resistance, to allow what's trying to happen. Because, you know, if you've done any of the manifestation, you know they talk about everything is happening for you, right? And if you constantly are in the energy of resistance, that you can't see where it's trying to happen for you. So if you've been here before, you know you've heard me share that I've, in my 20s, I was at the good fortune being able to have a experience that really awakened my realization about how everything is happening for you rather than not. And that happened through me getting laid off from a job. And that job ended up leading me to the best thing that ever happened in my life, so that I could buy my house before I was 30. But if I'd continued to resist it, and it took me a long time to stop resisting and to start allowing when I was in my 20s, but that taught me that, everything's happening for my betterment, even when it doesn't look like it. And they really want you to get that something may totally not look like it's working for you. And that if you trust it, if you trust what's going on and you keep moving forward, that you're going to see how it's working for you. But if you start to resist, and they're saying resistance is one of the biggest things why people get stuck, is they don't want to actually, making a mess here, they don't want to feel uncomfortable. They don't want to have to deal with something that they don't understand or don't know. And so they resist it even more. And so the Heart Chakra Angel is wanting you to start to acknowledge to yourself, when are you in resistance? Because resistance is not your higher guidance. It never is. And that your spirit guides are here to help you, give you that higher guidance. But you have to not be in resistance in order to receive the message. So they're telling me to ask you, do you know when you're in resistance? Like, are you aware when you're going, oh, I'm resisting this? I'm like, you know, I get that, you know, I get this feeling when I'm in resistance of like, that I know, like, oh, I'm in this, I'm resisting this. I don't really, and then for me, because I've been on the spiritual journey so long, I always know it's where I need to move forward, because, you know, the resisting of it never, ever gets me what I want. And the very thing I'm resisting is usually the very thing that's going to help me grow the most. So they're asking you, do you recognize when you're in resistance? Because you have to start recognizing when you're in it so you can move out of it. Okay? So this is interesting. I got done telling you how for watercolors you have to be more prepared and think it through more. And the spirit guides guided me to not draw anything on here, because normally when I do watercolors, and I am not a watercolorist, I've done things, played around with it, but I wouldn't say that anything I've done with it looks all that great. Okay, they're telling me that when you actually watercolor, what they're saying, if you want to do it as a creative process, is you don't think it out, you don't think it through, you do it more like you do when I do oil paints, in that except you're not necessarily always trying to get a vision. You're trying to actually, or create a vision, they say. You're just trying to lay and let the water kind of run where it wants to run. And then you're going to guide it a little bit. And here's the lesson. That it's so amazing to me when I get the lesson that's coming through. So they're telling me with watercolors, you want to allow it to flow, but you guide it slightly. And that's what it is in your life. When your spirit guide comes in, they come in with some guidance, and you want to listen. And it doesn't mean you're going to do everything they say verbatim, but you're going to allow it to flow, and you're going to give it some guidance. And so that's what happened when I did this. When they told me to actually squirt more water on here, and I might have to leave the camera frame here to go get more water. Yes, Evelyn, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, when you overthink and not present in, it depletes your energy. Totally true. I find that to be true too. Yeah, you can't be overthinking. In fact, overthinking is exhausting, isn't it? I'm going to go out of camera frame. I'll be right back, but I'm going to go put some water. I'm going to keep talking so you're going to hear me, but I'm going out of the camera frame for a little bit because I need more water. And, you know, the overthinking, and that's what this creative process is about how do you let yourself start to feel spirit speaking through you? How do you feel what they're trying to get you to feel and sense? Now, when I say feel, I don't mean emotionally. I mean, like, you'll feel a pull towards something. And when you're doing the creative process, when you start to do things, you start to feel a pull maybe to a color, maybe to a way you're going to do a method. you know, like when I first sat down, I was kind of more in my head and like, okay, I'm going to watercolor and I'm going to draw something on here. And I had seen this, I got more water, so now we're okay here. We're going to get some and kind of sketch out what I saw. And then it was like, no, don't do that. We want you to just allow yourself to drop the water down, and you're going to let it run, and you're going to allow it, and you're going to guide it a little bit. So that's what they're saying when the spirit guides come in, is it's not about them telling you and taking away your power of choice, okay? Because you always have that power of choice. But it is about how do you actually allow yourself to be in the flow, but let things reveal themselves, they're saying, reveal themselves. So like they just had me drop on water and let it drip down. See, you can, I don't know if you can see, but see, they don't want me to guide it everywhere. They want me to just allow the flow to happen. And they're saying that this is about not it looking like my vision, but that it energetically being in the flow. So they say you might not like the way it looks at the end, but that you're going to let that be in the flow, and you're going to allow the energy for it to flow. And that's what they're wanting me to let it happen. So what they want you to learn from that is how in your life do you need to let things flow? Because they're saying that this is what art is about how do you get into the creative flow, which is the divine flow, and allow the divine to guide you and speak to you with where you need to go. So do you have anything like that that you've been thinking about that you know, gee, I need to approach this in a different way. I need to like stop doing what I've been doing and look at the energy. What's the energy trying to happen? What's the energy that's trying to happen? Is there an energy that's trying to happen in, they're saying, in your career? Or is there an energy that's trying to happen in your relationship that you've been resisting, that you need to like let go of? So today they're saying what they want you to get from using the watercolors is being in that flow. How can you let yourself be in the flow, stop the resisting, so the one thing I love is just to, what's Spirit trying to guide me to do? And I'm doing that here while we're doing this watercolor. Which is nothing what I thought was going to be like. So it's been interesting because this You know, I'm not like a person that likes a lot of mess. I don't know if anybody's ever done pastels. If you've done pastels, you know, right? They're messy. So when I was, for a brief period of time, when I used to paint in this art studio, I used to have to teach sometimes the kids to do pastels. And it was not my favorite thing because it makes a mess everywhere. I tried doing it like at home and just hated the cleanup and how the pastel dust got everywhere. And I mean, I know there's different kind of pastels now, but the ones that I used back then were definitely this messy, got everywhere, all over the floor and everywhere else. So it's been interesting because they're just telling me to let the water flow. And how much can you allow it to be, even if you don't like it? And that's the thing they're actually telling me now, is that you really have to get, is sometimes the guidance that you get is going to be something you don't like. And that's the big challenge, is everybody wants to like the guidance. Everybody wants to like what's coming through. They want it like to be, oh yeah, like fairy tale. You know, like, oh, the best thing just ever happened. That's exactly what I thought would happen. And it doesn't happen that way. You know, often to get the thing you truly desire, your heart's desire, something has to happen that you're afraid of. That if you had your choice, you probably wouldn't want it to happen. And they want me again to remind you about, like, remember I talked about the getting laid off from my job that enabled me to get a sales job that paid me 3 times the amount of money. But I didn't want to, I didn't want to lose the security of a paycheck. And so in order for me to get that, I had to have something happen that I didn't like. I didn't like it. I didn't want to have to go through it because it was scary. But it was the very thing that made it so that I could actually make 3 times the amount of money, put the down payment on my house by the time I was 28. So you have to, and if you have a relationship with your guides, this is what they're saying. If you have a relationship with your spirit guides, if you actually trust them, you start to have that relationship, because a relationship is like a friendship, right? A relationship where you trust your friends, right? You listen to what they say. And it doesn't mean you do everything they say, but you trust them. Like, you know they're not trying to steer you wrong. And that's the thing about your spirit guides, right? Sometimes they give you guidance that's scary, but you trust it, so you do it anyway, even though it's scary. And if you don't have a relationship with your guides, you won't ever trust something when they tell you something to do that seems illogical, irresponsible, not practical, because you don't have a relationship. So, like, they want me to share another thing that if you've listened before you may have heard, but repetition is part of the growth process. Is when I was given to put on my website that I could see someone's energy, see the energy of their spirit guide that's here to help them, I didn't have any ability of vision or sight to think that I could do it. And I just followed it because I had enough experience in relationship with them. And I want you to get, they want you to get, that experience the relationship. So you have to have a relationship where you have an experience with them that I trusted enough to put it up on my website, even though I was like, I don't know if I can do this. What if I can't do it? You know, of course, I was scared and didn't tell anybody for a while, but then I finally got to a place where I did. But it's that relationship that enables you to move forward even though you're having fear. Do it even though it makes no sense. So you have to want to have that relationship. Just like when you get married, right? Or have a significant other, right? The relationship isn't always easy. But if you stay in it even through some challenges, it's because you stay because you want it, right? And that's what makes it. So anyway, here's my little watercolor that's just done from the intuitive guidance I was given as far as, I look this way because I have to see it in frame. This watercolor. And it's not about, like, again, great art. This is about how do you actually just listen? How do you allow it? Now, this is not done, if it was my painting, but it's like, how do you allow it to be in the ugly stage? How do you allow this to be in the ugly stage so that you can go, what else is supposed to happen? So, you know, I've done what they've said about letting it drip, made a big mess. But there's still more supposed to happen. So you have to go, okay, well, even though I'm not loving this right now, where's the energy? What's happening? What am I supposed to do? So when I got laid off from my job, I cried. I cried and was upset because I didn't have a job and everything. But I didn't stay still and do nothing. I was like, okay, well, what's trying to happen here? And I started using my energy and started going for job interviews and everything, right? But people were still telling me, oh, you should go into outside sales. And at first I was still like, meh. But when I got into about 5 months of my unemployment, and I still didn't have a marketing job because I kept being the last two people and didn't have it, I went out to dinner with a friend. And she happened to be a buyer at a company. And she said it again. She said to me, you should go into outside sales. I know a sales manager who just came in the other day and is looking for salespeople. Now, I don't know how much more Spirit to try to get me down that lane, right? And you should go to the interview. And I still said the thing I said before. I don't have any experience. Why would she hire me? Now, if I, really honest, I was too afraid to go do it. But then my friend said, you told me your unemployment's going to be running out in the next month. What do you got to lose? Why don't you go to the interview? And I finally went, click, she's right. And so I went to the interview. Lady hired me on the spot. I did the job, was in there, and by the time I was in it a month, I was like, this is the best job ever. Now, was I making a lot of money? No. But it fit. I got paid for talking to people. And I love talking to people. Just like I'm talking to you. Now, we may not be live. I don't get to have a conversation unless you share. Now, I love it when people put comments up that share their experience, what's going on. Maybe, did something the spirit guides say resonate with you? But I'm talking to share with you who's watching this, to hopefully help you in your path of awakening, to hopefully help you get out of that mind and into your heart and do what's true. Because I know the world's going to be a better place when more of us are in our hearts doing our truth, growing spiritually, wanting to step into our purpose, because we're all here for a reason, okay? So how do you do that, right? So at that time, even though I wasn't making a lot of money, I was like, I love this. I get paid for talking to people, okay? Now, I only had a paycheck for a certain amount of time. And then I was going to go straight commission. They paid me a paycheck for 6 months, and then I was on my own. But by 6 months, I was making that paycheck, and by a year, I had doubled that paycheck. By 2 years, I think I had tripled my income from when I was in marketing. And that was why I was able to put the money down payment on my house when I was 28, because I think I started the job when I was 25. Yeah. And so I had the money within 3 years, when I really hardly had anything when I started. So, how do you do that? So the spirit guides are telling me the Fairy of Light wants you to try, if you're open to it, if you have watercolors, try watercoloring and set yours up better than mine, where you actually can put the watercolor paint on there like I was showing you, and putting water and putting the paints and letting it drip, and just see what it creates. Because they wanted me to share. One time I did it, and I don't think I have the painting close by. I did a watercolor painting and did that once, and it was like flowers. They came out like flowers, and I was just like, how pretty, and so you can get into that flow. Now, they're wanting you to do this in the idea of, I want to do this here, and then take that energy of flow into my life. How can I be more in the energy of flow in my life so that I'm following the divine guidance, the guidance from my spirit guides, from my intuition, so that, I can, whatever that part that you're dissatisfied with, you can see the energy of where it's going to give you a solution. Because everything that's happening in your life, if you don't resist and you follow the flow of energy, the spirit guides are saying, will actually lead you to what you truly desire, to your heart's desires. Now, the thing they want you to understand is sometimes you don't know what that heart's desire is because your programming covers it up, or you just don't think it's possible for you to have, and so you just keep pushing it down and pushing it away. Do you have anything like that? They want you to get in that flow so you can let the little things bubble to the surface. If you think about the river, like when they're having me drop the water around there, and you think about a stream or a river, right? It's flowing, right? And you flow through, and you don't fight it. You just go, where's it taking me? And the water, what hits a rock, boink, and goes around, just flows right around it. It hits it and goes around it. And they want you to understand that your spirit guides are here to help you with doing that, like getting in the flow, getting out of your programming so that you can have a different result. Because they're saying if you just keep operating from your current state, your current programming, your current behaviors, you're only going to get what you currently have. And so you have to develop the relationship with your guides so that you can do something new and different, okay? So if developing your relationship with your guides is something you'd like, please feel free to get on my mailing list, because I periodically have different classes, not questions, that I do to connect with your guides. I also do, if someone's really wanting to, I really want to move forward on my purpose, I do mentoring programs, coaching programs, so feel free to check that out. And if you have any questions, the spirit guides are saying, feel free to put a question in, and I will ask them and give you an answer. I want to put up my connection call. If anybody's really looking for someone, you can go to deebaloo.com/gift. But yeah, they're telling me if anybody has a question, obviously you have to be on live for this, but you can put up a question, and I'd be happy to tune into the spirit guides. And obviously they want you to ask a question specifically around spirit guides today, but if you have a different one, it's fine too. But they're saying, ask about your spirit guides. Do you want to know about your spirit guides? Do you have one? Of course they're going to say yes, you have one, but they're I should say, do you have one that's here to help you at this moment? Because you always have them. It's just a matter of So next week is what? Believes my no appointment week. Let me double check my calendar real quick. So that week we will not have a live next week, but we will have one the week after. Yeah, so the next one will actually be, July 2nd, right before the holiday. Can you believe it? It's going to be July already. I can't believe it, that it's going to be so quick. Let me tune one last time in. Since no one's putting up a question, just ask the guides any more messages that you want to give. The Heart Chakra Angel is coming in and asking you, are you willing to actually check in with your heart every day? If you really want to get out of your head, you have to spend time checking into your heart. So the little practice they're giving is they're saying that you take a moment, and they're saying, you know how deep always feels, like breathe in deeply into the belly, where the belly rises with the inhalation and falls with the exhalation. So you can put your hands on your belly in the breathing process. I don't know if I'm going to stand up just so you can see. So you breathe in, and you feel your belly rising, and then you exhale and you feel it falling. And you do that 3 or 4 times, and then you move your hands from your belly to your heart. And you tune into your heart. And they're asking you to actually also tune in and ask your spirit guide to be with you. Even if you don't know who it is, even if you don't know or have any relationship with them, this is the beginning step. To say thank you, I welcome in my spirit guides, and I ask to know what's true in my heart. And do that once a day. And just sit and be with what comes to you. Now they're saying it's good if you have a journal to write them down in, because you want to see, is there a repetitive message? Is there something that, maybe a theme that's running through all the messages, because that helps you? Oh, okay. Live in love. Okay, living in love. I love that. I want to know about my spirit guides. Yes, please. And any message you may get. Thanks. Okay, so just clarify living in love. What do you want to know about your spirit guide? Like who's here for you right now? So just give me a little bit of a guideline here so I know what to ask them for you. But yeah, if you can put that in, living in love, and I love that. I think you've been here before, living in love. I remember this sign-on. I have a harder time remembering the sign-ons than I do people's names. Okay, so living in love. Let's check into your energy. And Spirit guides are saying, like, open up your arms, living in love, and just be open. And allowing yourself to be receptive, to be open. And they're saying that actually now, we're going to do this a little bit like I do with my personal spirit guide portals, because I've not done this on YouTube. So they're asking you to actually, and then you've opened your arms up, and now relax them, and breathe as if you're preparing to meditate. Whether you've done meditation or not before, it doesn't matter. You just close your eyes and breathe deeply into the belly, and just relax and allow yourself to begin to go inward. And as you do that, I'm going to tune into your energy, living in love. Interesting. When I had you do that, living in love, there was a cat meowing. I don't know if you've had a cat or you have a cat, but there is a cat in your energy field. The cat was meowing and meowing and meowing and saying that you're not giving me any attention. You're not giving me the attention that I desire. So what the spirit guide's telling me is that you have this cat that wants to work with you. It really wants you to be in the energy of the cats of 9 lives, in the sense of, not that you need to use your 9 lives, but that they're saying that, like, you have all these possibilities and that you're not giving the possibility attention. Does that make sense? Oh, you have 2 cats. Okay, interesting. Because I kept going, this cat is meowing and you're not giving me attention. But they're saying you're supposed to work with the energy of the cat. They say they're suggesting that you look up the cat. See, this, what I do is when I do a personal spirit guide is I get a vision. We meditate a little longer. I get a vision and a message comes through, and then I go and I paint the vision so that you can work with that spirit guide. Obviously, I'm not going to paint you a spirit guide here because that's what I do, one of my services I give. But they are saying that you have a cat energy that's here to work with you. And they're not saying it's your cats that are living. They're saying it's that there's a cat in the spirit realm. And so they're telling you to check up maybe like the Animal Speak book about cats. What does a cat mean to you? They're wanting you to look at that and then look at your life and go communing with that cat spirit guide and asking it, where is the area that you want me to put attention to? Okay? This is like something I do in when people work in mentoring programs with them, is I start to help them to develop that skill set, but I also give them messages from the spirit guides of here's what you do to develop that skill set. Here's what you're supposed to do to get to the purpose that you want to manifest. But they're actually saying that they want you to do that. Does that make any sense, Living in Love? And love it if you have any questions or clarification or something on that. I give you a little time to type in. Oh, makes sense. Good. Well, I'd love it if in a couple weeks when I do the next live, if you're on, that you share what happened when you did it. Because I'm all, like I said, this is the first time I've done this on YouTube where the spirit guides were saying, oh, offer to like let people know about their spirit guides if they want to. And you were the only one brave enough to ask. So, of course, there's not like there's hundreds of people on, but good for you. Okay, so again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you're ready for, like, I'm ready to get the support, please do. Also, I'm going to be launching a membership in a future. So if you want to get on my membership wait list, feel free to do that. I'll put that up here. Here it is, right there, membership waiting list. The other thing too, about getting out of your head and into your heart, I don't know if I've said this, I've recently launched, or completed, not launched, completed a subliminal audio to help you with the programming, because the programming that we get is what keeps us in our head. And so that's Trust Your Heart. I don't think I have this up here though. Let me look. Oh, here it is. Yes, I do. So if you're looking to get this, you can go and get this subliminal and use it when you're washing dishes and everything. It could start to help reprogram that programming that you have that keeps you using your mind rather than following what's true in your heart. All right? All right. Any last questions before we? Oh, thanks for sharing that, Living in Love. You feel stuck on what type of work? Did you mention this before? I think you've been on the line. I know somebody did talk about this, about they didn't know what their work was going to be. Have you mentioned that before? Have you been on live before, Living in Love? Your sign-in looks familiar. I don't know if it's maybe you've seen some of my videos, my pre-recorded videos or not, but yeah, I'm curious. No? Okay, yeah, all right. So maybe it was obviously a different sign-on person that came and asked about that. Well, they gave you some guidance. Oh, first time here. Well, hope to see you again, Living in Love, and hope you subscribe. But yeah, I hope to do what they said, and because they said they want you weren't giving it some attention. So that makes sense in why that message came through, that you're feeling stuck on what type of work you're to do. It's one of the things about working with your spirit guides is that they're here to help you with that purpose, that mission. And the reason why you don't know what it is and why you're stuck is because of the programming that you were given throughout life or as a child that has a belief system that doesn't allow you to get in touch with what's in your heart. And it's one of the things I do in mentoring programs with people is I help them to change that programming and teach you how to start to get in touch with what's in your heart so you can know what it is. So, but thank you, Living in Love. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you in a couple weeks. Any last questions? I see there's a few more people on live. If you want to ask a question, I'll stay on a few more minutes. if somebody does. Oh, you just subscribed. Oh, thank you so much, Living in Love. I look forward to seeing you again. Do this on Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Right now we're in Eastern Daylight Savings Time, so if you're in a country that doesn't have it, it could be slightly different. So I'll be doing the next one July 2nd. I usually do 3 weeks on, 3 to 4 weeks on. If it's a 5-week month, I'll do 4 weeks on and then 1 week off. But I do 3 on of the live, and then I have a week where I have no appointments, and then I do right back and I go to 3 weeks. So, and the spirit guides guide me on what we're going to talk about. So I never know, and it's recent that I just started doing the spinning wheel, and we kind of go with a different kind of creativity depending on what they're saying. So, cool. Oh, Lori, first time here too. Lori, well, please subscribe. I'd love to see you there. And if any last questions, I'm so happy that you guys are sharing that you're here. I love to see it. And like I said, I love talking with people. If I could make this YouTube live where I could actually turn you, like the volume, like click on you and say, you could tell me what you were saying, I'd do that. But they don't have that set up this way. Oh, good. Thanks, Lori. All right. Well, if there's no more questions for the spirit guides or anything, we will be signing off for today, and we'll be back, like I said, July 2nd. Look forward to seeing you then. Blessings to all. Take care.